Like to call the July 22nd council meeting to order at 5:05 PM. Machines open for roll call.
Hold 1 minute, please.
Let the record show 7 council members are present. Mr. John's in the building and Richie Blink's absent. Before we go to executive session, can we go to 9B?
Item 9B, a resolution authorizing the parish president, Kirk M. Lapine, for and on behalf of the Plaquemines Parish Government to enter into an agreement with Jefferson Parish Finance Authority for the purpose of allowing low to moderate income borrowers of Plaquemines Parish to participate in the authority's Southern Mortgage Assistance Program and Lagniappe Advantage Program, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Konovich.
I'll offer, ask for a second. Second by Mr. Alborough. Yes, sir, can you come up?
Commissioner,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry,
Go ahead.
Chairman Kognovich. Today we have this legislation before the council. We have Ms. Ruth Lawson. She is the executive director of the Jefferson Parish Finance Authority, and she'll be making a presentation of a mortgage assistance program. This program could possibly allow our residents of the parish to obtain low fixed interest rates, closing costs, or possibly down payment assistance when purchasing a home. We also have Mr. Bill Culver from legal who's been helping with this.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Come on. Could you turn me on, please?
All microphones are on.
His screen's off.
I did.
It says you're away. Is the you're absent, Kim?
Now, Councilman,
I'm putting you in.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so thank you, everyone. My name is Ruth Lawson. I'm the Executive Director of the Jefferson Parish Finance Authority.
Y'all need-
I have been working with Ms. Taylor and Mr. Culver, trying to get this program passed with Plaquemines Parish, and I will present to you the details of it now. So the Jefferson Parish Finance Authority was created in 1979 by a public trust under the Louisiana Public Trust Act. Our mission is to provide financial assistance to Jefferson Parish residents and residents of the surrounding parishes for home ownership, thereby enhancing economic development. We provide down payment and closing cost assistance for our residents to get into homes, thereby becoming taxpayers of the parish that they reside in. So together with our participating lenders and our realtors, we strive to make dreams of homeownership come true. This is some history of our organization. Like I said, we were established in 1979 by the Jefferson Parish Council. We were created by a public trust pursuant to the Louisiana Public Trust Act. We were originally created and traditionally provided financing of mortgage loans on single-family residential property through tax-exempt bond programs. With the lower interest rates, these programs have turned more to, and we have turned more to what we call TBA programs. And those are market rate programs, which offer competitive interest rates as well as other incentives which may not be available through traditional financing. Right now, we operate in Jefferson Parish, St. Tammany Parish, St. Bernard, and St. Charles Parish. And we're hoping to get into Plaquemines Parish as well. So our partners in these programs, our underwriter is Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated and Sisson Securities. Our financial advisor is Government Consultants of Louisiana. Hancock Whitney Bank serves as our trustee. The master servicers of these mortgages is Standard Mortgage for our Lagniappe Advantage program and our Southern Mortgage Assistance program, and U.S. Bank, which we just approved on Monday, July 19th this week, a new program called Comfort of Home. And then the Comfort of Home program administrator will be eHousing. So how these market rate TBA programs work is that we set interest rates daily with the help of the JPFA and Stifel. These interest rates are distributed to local realtors, local lenders, and the loans are originated through our participating lenders. Right now, we have about 15 local lenders, which all range from national banks to likes of Gulf Coast and NOLA Lending and your local lenders as well. We hope to, and we will be adding to that list of lenders with this new program. So once the loans are originated through the participating lenders, Stifel, our underwriter, hedges against a chance in those interest rates changing in a TBA, and that means to be announced market. Our master servicer purchases those loans from the lenders. The servicer pools those loans and creates a mortgage-backed security. And then that mortgage-backed security is sold at an agreed-upon price. It's purchased by Stifel, and then it's sold at an agreed-upon price in the cash market. So once that mortgage-backed security is sold in a cash market, it generates sufficient proceeds to cover all the cost of the programs, and we are generated a fee. So the Jefferson Parish Finance Authority would split that fee. Any loans originated in Plaquemines Parish would be split with Plaquemines Parish 50-50. This is just a graphic to show the process that I just provided. So to get into the details of our programs, our Southern Mortgage Assistance Program is our governmental program. It is a 30-year fixed-rate, fully amortizing mortgage with 3 or 4% assistance for down payment and closing cost, and that is for home buyers with an FHA, VA, or RHS loan. FHA is available to everyone. VA, as you know, is available to our veterans, which I think, as you are all are housing the Air Force Base, which would be very beneficial to Plaquemines Parish, and then also RHS loans. All of Plaquemines Parish is considered eligible for RHS loans. There's only a small minority of Jefferson Parish which is considered for that, so I believe that is a very good market for you as well. Some of these loans offer 0% required in down payment assistance, so that assistance that we would provide, that 3 or 4%, could be put towards their closing cost. The income limit for these loans is 140% of HUD median income. This changes yearly. Right now, it is at $98,140. That is a borrower income. So if you have a husband and wife who make over that and they would like to utilize these programs, only the borrower, maybe the husband, would be put on that loan. This is for single-family dwellings. Like I said, all of our programs currently are available in Jefferson, St. Charles, St. Bernard, and St. Tammany. The minimum credit score is 640, and this is not limited to first-time home buyers. Our Lagniappe Advantage program is similar. It is a 30-year fixed-rate, fully amortizing mortgage with 0, 3, or 4% assistance for down payment or closing cost, and that is for a Freddie Mac, Home Possible Advantage, or Fannie Mae HFA Preferred loan. The income limit for Fannie Mae HFA Preferred is $98,140. Freddie Mac is $56,320, and that $56,320 is for 80% of the median income. Their 2-unit homes are permitted for the Fannie Mae product. It is available in all the parishes listed. The minimum credit score is 640, and it's also not limited to first-time home buyers. As I mentioned earlier, on Monday, July 19th, our board just passed and approved the program documents for this new program called Comfort of Home. So we anticipate a rollout date of about mid-August, August 16th, for this program to be available for lenders and borrowers. It is a 30-year fixed-rate, full amortizing mortgage with up to 5%, so an additional 5% assistance for down payment or closing cost, and that is for all the loans provided in the other programs, your FHA, your USDA, your VA, Freddie Mac, or Fannie Mae. The income limit will also be $98,140 of borrower income, and the up to 5% down payment and closing cost assistance is provided to the borrower in the form of a 0% interest, 3-year deferred forgivable second mortgage. So what that means is that we provide them the assistance up front as long as that homeowner stays in that home for 3 years, does not refinance, does not sell the home, they do not owe us that money back. However, if in the 3rd year or the 2nd year they decided to sell the home, they would owe us that 1 year back in assistance, and that would be an additional source of revenue. This is not limited to first-time home buyers, and also allowed in this program is what we call a limited, what the FHA calls a limited 203K mortgage. And this allows a purchaser of a home to build in up to $35,000 in additional financing for renovation of the home. So just a few facts about Plaquemines Parish that I think are relevant and would prove successful for these programs is in 2020, there was a 24.8% increase in total closed sales compared to 2019. We had an over 20% increase in year-to-date in new listings. And the median income fits within the program's parameters. So the median income, and this was pulled as per the last census, was $28,697 for an individual and a household income of $57,204. And like I said earlier, all of Plaquemines Parish is eligible for these rural development loans. That is the summary of the programs provided. Before you is a cooperative endeavor agreement. And how this works is that Plaquemines Parish is not required to put any money forward. We split the fees with you once these mortgages are pooled and sold in a mortgage-backed security 50-50. The only thing that Plaquemines Parish is responsible for is any additional marketing that they wish to do. They're not required to do so. I've spoken with Mr. Culver, Ms. Taylor, about having, utilizing your free marketing. So that's your local programming channel, your website, your social media, other entities such as St. Tammany and St. Bernard. They've created their own website. We manage their website. We post their daily rates. So that is also an option. It is not a requirement, but any additional marketing that we do, which we provide digital advertising through social media with WDSU commercials, WVUE, and also social media advertising as well. So the only requirement of you is any additional marketing and advertisement you wish to provide to the program. And
Thank you.
if anybody has any questions.
Thank you. Anybody have questions from the council? Administration?
I'd just like to,
Yes.
thank Ms. Lawson. Very much needed on the East Bank. Very much. Need the program. I'm sorry. We very much need that particular type of program on the East Bank, single-family dwellings. And I really appreciate the interest of you coming out and doing the presentation. And I'm sure that council will support the agreement between Jefferson and Plaquemines.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you very much for bringing this to us.
Of course. And I'd just like to mention a couple of facts. So the total down payment assistance we've paid through all parishes is close to $4 million. It's $3.82 million that we've paid for our borrowers to get into homes. The average, fee we receive in St. Tammany Parish, which we split with St. Tammany Parish, is about $464. That would be your portion if you were to, create that amount of loans. So that is just to kind of give you a number. And depending on the success of the program, obviously, would depend on the amount of revenue that we would draw down.
Is there an opportunity to have a town meeting, a hall meeting?
Of course, and
do a presentation?
Of course, I would be more than happy to attend any town meeting. I plan to, in the event the council approves the CEA, I plan to go visit all of your local lenders, local banking institutions, and make them aware of the program, market it in Plaquemines Parish, and anything else the council so requests.
Soon you have an opportunity to set something up on the East Bank. Please do so and call me at a time.
Okay,
Today.
thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Any other questions? Administration? Audience?
First off, let me just tell you, I've known Culver for a lot of years. He and I worked together at National American Bank in 1961. He ran the personnel department. Did a hell of a job. You ought to be glad to have him with you. This young lady, Ruth, program that she has is identical to the one that we had with Louisiana Housing Corporation that's administered on a statewide basis. You all elected to do it with Jefferson Parish and surrounding parishes. It's an exceptional program, Mr. Bartholomew. I can tell you the rental assistance, down payment assistance program, the forgivable loans and all of it, marketed through your realtors all the associations you have, your employers and all, is a plus for you all. They ended up selling these loans off in what we call MBSs, mortgage-backed securities. The principles that she showed up here as to who they work with and officials, government consultants, Gordon King, I work with them, excellent people, Stipple, excellent people. I can tell you, this is something you all need to do for your parish and promote it and advertise it and let her get involved in this thing. I support it fully.
Thank you.
Mr. Bartholomew already expressed.
Name and address, please.
Reverend Tyrone Edwards, 112 Thomas Lane, downtown Phoenix. I'm really excited about hearing this because there's so many people on the East Bank. We have been sent into New Orleans to all these programs to help with single home buying program. I remember in 1980 or 81, when it was Jefferson Parish that we relied on to bring the Community Action Agency into the parish, and it has been successful. To me, I think this would be the next biggest thing that we can do for the citizens of Plaquemine Parish by bringing this program into the parish, because as Mr. Bartholomew said, I can only speak for the East Bank, is very needed. I know at least 3 or 4 people who went to programs in New Orleans and took advantage of something similar to. So I'm really, really excited. And I just want to let you know, Mr. Bartholomew sometimes is very busy. You can't get his number, so I'm going to give you my number in case you can't reach him.
Thank you. Ms. Newberry?
Is there an end date? Sometimes these programs, they last just a year, 2 years. Is this, and there's an end date to this program?
No, it's not an end date. There is no end date. We have all of these down payment assistance is funded through the Jefferson Parish Finance Authority. It's not any federal funding or any of that nature. So there's no end date for that.
Thank you. Name and address, Mr. Henry.
The Henry Bell Chase. Ms. Lawson, do that include trailers or mobile homes or not mobile homes?
I'll have to check on the new program. Right now, it does not include mobile homes, but that's something that I can look forward and look into if it's something that we could get approved.
You know, it's important for the people of Plaquemine. You know, we are a rural parish, and trailers, you know, double wides are just expensive as single dwellings. You know. Well, anyhow, Ms. Taylor, the administration did a great job. It's about time, and this is a program for a hand up, not a handout. This is a great program here, a great, great program for the people of Plaquemine, not just the East Bank, West Bank too. The entire parish is needed, been needed, long time ago. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll be contacting you about having a town hall meeting in Buras and Venice, so.
Sure, and we reach out to civic associations, churches, anything. So if any of you would like me to attend any of your meetings and present, I would be more than happy to do so.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hey y'all, my name is Reba Parker. I live at 131 RP Lane, Triumph, Louisiana. This is a great opportunity, and I saw this before up there when I lived in Jefferson Parish as well as Orleans Parish. I have a credit score of a 640 right now currently. I am also employed, and I also do self-employment. As I can see that they say that you have to have a certain requirement, like meeting like 58,000, 48,000. With me having 2 incomes, I still don't meet that requirement. So
It's over that, and nobody that makes more than that could get it.
nobody.
People that make less than the 58,000 can get the loan.
Right.
Anybody that makes 100,000 can't get it.
Okay, Mr. Kognovich, where I live at, my rent is $1,000 a month, right? So if I'm having some type of, we're gonna say like, I'm a little nervous. If I'm having like some type of like financial like issue, like such as I work for these beautiful people at Cajun Daiquiris, but we have been closed for a month, almost a month. So how can I keep up with my payment without, what's the word I'm looking for, defaulting? Is that the word I'm looking for?
You'd have to talk with Ms. Lawson about the payment schedule and all.
All right. I'm trying to stay in Plaquemines Parish.
Any other questions? Machine's open. It passes 8-0.
Thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I think I provided all of you folders and my business cards in there, so I'd be more than happy to meet with any of you. And I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Ms. Beck, now can we go to alcohol permits?
Which one is that?
If anybody has one, key in. I have one. Cajun Daiquiris, 42866 Highway 23. I'll offer, ask for a second. Second by Ms. Newberry. This establishment is coming after a new permit. They've been open since, I don't know when they opened, but they've been running since December without a permit. And I got numerous calls about loud music, garbage, fighting, blocking driveways. I got letters from the police department stating that they've received over 20 911 complaints on them. They sold alcohol to underage people. 2 reports of fights and 1 with an injury reported by a citizen. 7 noise complaints within 20 days. Drug usage and sales inside the ballroom. I talked with about 10 people that live around there. They said on the weekends they can't sleep. They're picking up trash all weekend. I talked to the owner about a week before they got closed, and I explained to him the complaints I got. And then the sheriff's office went out and closed them the next Friday with them selling alcohol to a minor and no alcohol permits. So if anybody has any other questions from the council?
I just would like the opinion from Danny to make sure that we can vote based on those comments. Issuance, because it's an issuance and not a renewal, we can vote based on those comments?
What do you mean, but can you, what do you mean, can you vote?
Since I've been on the council, we've never denied a liquor license.
But you do have the authority to.
Anyone else with the council?
So is the resolution to approve or deny?
With the comments from the people that live around there, and I'm denying.
What are we voting? We're voting no.
Denial.
You got to vote no. No.
Right, I think any liquor permit or a permit that comes up is automatically to approve.
Right.
So
You got to vote no.
if you not want it, you need to vote.
Okay. Administration?
Well, and Kim's correct. If the resolution is styled to grant, then you would have to vote no if it was to deny. And because it's an action item, you do have to open it for public comment.
Audience? State your name and address for the record.
I'm Dean St. Pierre. I'm the owner of Cajun Daiquiris. Well, actually, it's the Bayou Club. And we addressed all these complaints that everyone has. We're not going to have any loud music anymore. We're not having any DJs. It's going to be a 21 year to get in. I have a machine now that's going to swipe for the age of IDs and also for the driver's license. So as far as picking up trash, we're going to pick up all the trash. I didn't realize all the noise that it was making with these 2 DJs. I fired the DJs. So this is a renewal. This is not a new license. I mean,
Well,
it's a renewal.
it's my understanding that it expired in
Yes, I
December.
have an ATC license from the state.
That's the state license. This is a parish license,
I
right?
understand, sir, but I didn't realize with the COVID and everything, that when the people came in to sell me beer and stuff, that they said I was okay. So once I found out that I didn't have that license, I went that Friday and paid for it. But we are addressing all these issues here. That,
Oh, we talked before.
I know, and I told you that.
Yes, sir, and you had stated to me that you was gonna go to the constituents living around there.
I did.
And
I saw
speak with
Mr.
them.
Twine. I
Well,
tried.
they told me that no one's came to talk to them.
No, sir. I left cards with Mr. Twine, and I tried to see the gentleman next door. We were supposed to have a meeting with everyone, with the sheriff and everything, and I explained everything to the sheriff. So, I mean, I've done everything now that they've asked me to do, and I just would like to get, because this is a renewal. This is not a, the first time license there.
Well, like I said, it expired in December, so it's
I
a new,
understand that, sir.
it's a new permit.
I do understand that.
And, I don't want to shut any business down,
Well,
but
I
the
mean,
calls I
I
get,
have
and
eight employees that's from this parish that works there that doesn't have a job right now. They were talking about hiring people down here, and I've got 8 employees that don't have a job right now,
the complaints I got, and
I understand, sir, but I
And
addressed it.
I spoke with you before the police shut you down, and I explained that,
And I was
I was
working on-
getting-
when I spoke with you, I was working on that, sir. I was.
and you still had loud noise the next weekend.
And my manager was out of town, okay? She was on vacation. And I explained to the DJ not to have the music loud, and he did it anyway, then I fired him. So I addressed all these issues that you're asking about right now, and I'm gonna run a tight ship.
Like I said, everybody I spoke to said you didn't go talk to them, and they don't want
Sir,
the problems.
I did go talk to Mr. Twine. I left cards, and I've talked to the gentleman next that owns the trailer park. I talked to him a bunch of times and told him that I was shutting down the DJ, that it wasn't gonna be any more loud music there.
Well-
And the fights too, anybody that fights in there, I'm gonna evict them from there.
Well, like I said, they've told me that you haven't come talk to them.
I did talk to him. I'm not a liar. I did speak with both of them, and I tried to get in touch with Mr. Twine, but he's a hard man to get in touch with. I left the card where his shrimp place is. And I left one of my cards. I mean, I've been down there a number of times to try to address this. But I have addressed everything you've asked me to address, and it's gonna change. If you wanna put me on probation, that's fine, and see how I go. And then if I'm not doing what you're asking me to do, then take my license. But I would like a second chance. Everyone gets a second chance in life, so that's what I'm asking for.
The question was asked, where do you live?
I live in Marrero on the West Bank. Yes, sir, I do, but I employ 8 employees from Plaquemine here and I pay taxes.
Any other questions from a councilman? Administration? Audience?
Arthur Henry Belchese. Listen, you're a businessman, you have a business in this parish. We just did the port. Those people not from Plaquemine, most of them. They come, ain't got nobody how they working.
That doesn't matter, Mr. Henry,
But look, but listen, this man, all these people back here gonna probably be without a job. Hey, y'all talk about business. Sometimes you gotta put your money where your mouth is. But now, I agree too. The situation needs to be solved. But I don't believe all these people should be without a job. Now, I believe the situation should be solved. But these people shouldn't be without a job. That's my point.
Y'all wanna can we defer it and vote on it next meeting? No.
Is he recommending?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm Tyrone Edwards, 112. I haven't had a daiquiri since 1980, but I'm with Mr. Hendry. I don't know the gentleman, but I just think if he said he met all the requirements, I don't think his business should be closed down because, again, he's saying he hired at least 8 local people. So they're going to be hurt. Their family's going to be hurt. So I hope you give this man a chance to correct this problem because I've seen a lot of other businesses who had some of the same problems that he's had, and after resolve their problem, we went on and give him renew his license. So I hope you renew this man's license so the local people that he hired can have a means of employment.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Major Tracy Riley, retired. I reside at 13482 Highway 23. And I'm obviously a resident of this parish. And I too agree with the previous 2 speakers that a business owner should not lose his investment because a group of 8 to 10 people whom he has expressed he has not had the opportunity to speak to face and commit to them to correct those issues. Plaquemines Parish, since the storm, obviously at the south end, the residents do want services. And I know daiquiris are hard to find or hard to get to in general from this area. And so I would hate to see a business be taken out for this type of reason. And as he said, everyone deserves a second chance. I do have an appreciation for due process, and we need to slow down, give him an opportunity, as he said, and give him time to demonstrate to you that those issues have been properly addressed and rectified. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to defer it. Me and you's going to get together, and I'm going to have a meeting with all the residents around there, and we're going to straighten it all out, and it'll come back up next council meeting. Yes, sir. 2 weeks.
What, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
The report stated that we sold alcohol to minors.
Yes, sir.
See, that's bad. And if everybody does that, sell alcohol to minors, we already have problems.
But
Well, wait a minute. Still, let me say something. It's your responsibility as the owner to tell everybody that works for you that they're not supposed to sell alcohol to minors. Without a doubt, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. There's no justification for that. But I can understand the plight of the people that's employed by you. But one of those persons sold alcohol to a minor, according to the report. If that's so, then that person needs to be reprimanded.
They are reprimanded. They have been.
And that's a serious problem.
Mr. Kotovich. Trying to view myself as someone of a logical person.
Yes, sir.
If I were you, I would take Mr. Kotovich's offer and let it lay over for 2 weeks and have discussions with him. It's his district, and I respect that, his opinion of what happens in that district. I'm just giving you my advice.
Yes,
I
sir.
think that would be, I mean, I know you're losing probably 2 weeks of business,
Well, I'm gonna lose a month.
but I would take Mr. Konovich's
I'm just
offer.
concerned about my workers, that's all. You know, I mean, they're there.
Well, if you are, I would probably take his offer.
Yes, sir.
It's late in the meeting, play games and stuff like that. Let them be air conditioning, play games.
Like I said, it's not our fault. The permit expired, COVID, whatever the reasons were. You know, I got complaints from constituents, the police department, but I'm willing to
Hey,
get,
I already spoke with the sheriff. I spoke with him. I spoke with everyone except, I spoke with everyone except Mr. Twine. That's the only one I didn't speak to.
I'm gonna make it where we could get together, me, you, and the people that live around there, and we'll straighten it out. If not, we'll go ahead and vote. It's up to you.
Oh, sorry, I want my license. I want to get a second chance. I think I deserve a second chance. There's been things happening down there. The person's been recommending that sold the alcohol to the minor. I'm getting a swipe card now that, you know, everyone that comes in has to do the swipe card with an ID and a driver's license. And that's going to tell if the card is not valued or any good. So, I mean, I am doing everything now in my power that I can do to make this. There's no more DJs. So that issue of all that blocking cars and everything, driveways, it's not going to be there. It's just going to be a daiquiri shop with playing pool and people coming in and meeting. That's what it's going to be.
Well, like,
All right, I'll
Well,
meet,
the-
when can we meet, sir? When can we?
I'll call you tomorrow, and I'll call Twan and the other people, and maybe Monday.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Defer that item.
Where would you like to go now, Councilman?
Number 2.
Item 2A, to receive attorney-client.
You need something else? Hold on a second.
I want to add something to the executive session, and I seek a suspension of the rules to do that.
Item 2B, to receive attorney-client privilege communications in regard to the law and processes related to Agenda Item 7A1, LRS 42:17A10. Rennie Burris, Councilmember Benjamin Roussel.
Mr. Roussel?
Yes, I so offer for executive session to add to the item, make it item B.
Well, we gotta offer, you offer the first one, then we'll.
Yeah.
We need a second.
Mr. Black, second. Machine's open on that one. It passes 8-0. Mr. Roussel?
Moving to executive session, take up Secretary read them.
Item 2A, to receive attorney-client privilege communications in regard to the law and processes related to the purchase by the parish of property owned by the state of Louisiana, LRS 42:17A10, Attorney Danny Garrett, Councilmember Roussel. Item 2B, to receive attorney-client privilege communications in regard to the law and processes related to Agenda Item 7A1, LRS 42:17A10, Rennie Burris, Councilmember Benny Roussel.
Mr. Roussel, you offer?
I offer.
Mr. Roussel offers, I'll second. Machine's open. It passes 8-0. Let the record show we're going into executive session at 5:43. Let the record show we're back from executive session at 6:18 with no binding action. What one you want to go to? Just 11J.
discussion of the Belchase Bridge. Is that what we're doing?
That's what you wanted? 11J.
Item 11J, discussion on the Belle Chase Bridge. Councilmember Roussel.
Yes, this item here is, because of what we've been trying to do is get with somebody from plenary or trailer or somebody to meet and have public meeting and discussion. And I know that some people have met privately, but I think that they owe a meeting to come and address this bridge issue. It's getting to be something that is really annoying the public, and the public is really reacting with a lot of comments to me, for sure. So I'm open for discussion if anybody has any comments.
Well, when was it? Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, Miss Newberry and I met with Plenary, Trailer, and the other companies, and we discussed it, and Plenary's willing to come to the next council meeting and give a presentation of what is going on. They said they'll answer some questions, but they won't get into the meat of what the community wants of money and stuff like that, because DOTD would have to answer that. They just a company that got a contract to build a bridge, and that's what they doing, but they're coming to the next meeting to give a presentation and answer some questions. Ms. Newberry?
And to reply to that, they also said they're going to come and do a presentation, and they're going to offer the community to have outreach community meetings wherever that needs to be. So just a little information there.
Town hall meetings throughout the communities. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, at one of the meetings, you discussed about issuing a subpoena to plenary to come and discuss the operations and the maintenance of the bridge, which has caused the parish a great deal of grief, what's been going on. And they have an obligation in their contract, not only just to build a bridge, but to maintain this thing and keep it operating. It is part of the future. I guess, can I ask the attorney a question? Danny? It's my question, I'm concerned, I've been hearing that they can't subpoena a state representative, a state manager, a director, like Sean Wilson, who's responsible for DOTD. Is that the case?
Well, the charter provides that they can subpoena witnesses to appear before the council. Whether or not whether that's enforceable against a state official, the charter's silent on it. I don't know that you would be able to get a state official, because I think they would argue that the charter authority doesn't extend to them.
Well, if you can't get plenary to answer in its operation under its contract and terms and conditions that they're burdening the parish with $700 million and the day-to-day operations of it, nor can you get DOTD to sign the contract, we were never a party to it. Right back to the lawsuit. It's the only action we can take on some of these things. But the other side of it, if you can't subpoena, I'd subpoena Sean Wilson, I'd subpoena the governor. The governor works for the governor. Let the governor come down and talk to us. Let the governor come down to some of our meetings out here to the public and tell us how great a deal he gave us. He's doing stuff around the rest of the state. Why can't we do that?
Well, and I can tell you, although the charter does authorize the council to subpoena witnesses before it, the charter contains no penal provision that would apply to that, nor does the Code of Ordinances appear to impose any sort of penalty.
Plenary has told us that they don't want to talk to the public. They're not going to answer questions about the contract. They're not going to answer this. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do this. What are they coming down to give us a feel good to all the public out there to say, oh, we can take care of your bridge? I mean, it's just like the poor man had the liquor license,
Well, like I said, they
He's
said
in the same boat.
the first council meeting they come to, they're gonna give a presentation of what they doing, explain the repairs on the old bridge, the tunnel and all. They'll answer some questions, but they're not gonna get into the heart of the contract because they accepted a contract the state gave them. So,
Let me tell you, I have utmost respect for all of you all up there. You got a tough job to do. and we got dealt a bad deal, and it came to us. But we're not getting a representative in Baton Rouge. We got sitting back and having to live with this damn bridge that's going on. And frankly, you're getting ready to have the same damn thing with the railroad. It's coming down the road. You're not gonna have control on what we do. I would hope that you all would, I don't wanna say scare them, but let them know you got some teeth and issue a subpoena to them all. And they can come in good faith, you know?
But they did say they would invite somebody from DOTD, but if they accepted, they didn't know.
But when's the public gonna be able to ask questions? I know you don't have the answer. I mean, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, you know, but, Trudy, you met with them. What are they gonna tell us? I mean, you met.
I don't know what their plan of action. I'm assuming they're gonna talk to the community about the project itself, and if anybody has any questions. I mean, I don't know. I haven't.
DOTD has had this bridge on its maintenance contract for a million years. And we've never had problems like we're having now with one of their contractors. It's supposed to be maintaining its deal on an operational basis. I mean, if we had an emergency down here, we have a major problem. It's bad enough when it rains, you can't get out of the parish. I'm gonna stop right there for a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Marva Anderson, Trufant. First of all, I would like to let you know about 14756 Bell Chase Highway. On Sunday morning, I went to Sunday morning services, and there was people asking for prayers for the safety of the people going through that tunnel with that $1 trillion bridge they're building. Okay, what's happening here, the tunnel was always a leaky bucket. And now, since they're building the bridge, the tunnel is even worse. So what can you all do about that? People having fear of that tunnel because I know you all see that leaking. You can see it. I can see it. I just thought it was me. But when people start praying in church on Sunday morning for the safety of our people, please don't let us be like Florida. Are we going to do something about that tunnel leaking like that? That's not safe. And something needs to be done. If the people that's building the bridges are responsible for it, you're all going to have to talk to them because something has to be done. My thoughts are shut the leaky bucket down. I know we would have a terrible traffic thing there, but we would save some lives.
Well, I asked them about if they had sensors and all for when they start to drive the pilings and all. Said they put sensors throughout the tunnel, the bridges, and around the area, and they monitoring it. That's all they told me.
They monitor it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why so much water coming in now and nobody's monitoring that? People passing through that tunnel, they think it's gonna go down on them. I went through it at Ada today.
Anybody else? Mr. Roussel?
No, I can tell you that we're trying to get them to come forward and give us some answers on the maintenance of the bridge and the tunnel. In my conversations with DOTD, I mentioned this at a prior meeting. I sit next to the district director for the Bridge City, who used to be in charge of the bridge and the tunnel. And when I asked him what are questions about that, he just threw up his hand and said, you got to see plenary. So they have walked away from it's worse than that if you really want me to get into this. They have walked away from the project. They have turned it over to plenary, but they have also passed legislation through the legislature that relieves them of third-party liability. So if that tunnel would cave in, the DOTD would be liable, not the contractor, because they passed a special statute relieving them of the third-party liability, which was really, a bad thing to do, but they did. So the state got on the hook, they let the contractor off the hook.
Okay, so the parish can't shut it down? Will we have to march in front of it to shut it down?
We have no control over
state
it.
highway.
It's a state highway and a state tunnel and bridge.
Okay.
So we're trying to get the contractor to come in and address the issues that we are hearing from the public, in the public, not behind closed doors, because You didn't hear what they told them. I didn't hear what they told them. Nobody out there heard what they told them. So we're trying to get them to come out in a public meeting to address some of these issues. Perhaps they have good answers, but as far as you talking about the liability remains with the state. But the operation and maintenance is with the contractor. But they have no liability, no third-party liability. I mean, it's a bad deal. Look, we have an item on the agenda to try to sue to get them into court to look at this contract. And so far, we haven't been successful to get the votes up here, but we're going to continue to try.
Good evening again. I'm Major Tracy Riley, retired. My address is 13482 Highway 23. And I too come before the council, if nothing more, but to put on the official record my concern for the safety or the lack thereof as I travel over the bridge and returning south under the tunnel. On last evening, as I was coming into the parish to go through the tunnel, there was construction materials on the road. There was sediment on the road. There were these like 2 dozen white ball-like pieces of equipment. I thought it was styrofoam, but it had a harder, maybe concrete, that our vehicles are driving over and through, causing damage to the vehicles. And also, most concerning is the sediment covers over the painted lanes. So you really, it's already narrow, but you really lose the idea of where you are, your placement, and it becomes very unsafe really quickly. And again, as a resident of the parish, I would very much like to see something done as a precaution so that we're not reacting to, someone losing their life or damage to vehicles and things of that nature. And I'd like to put on a one thought as a fix, and that would be along the lines of legal action to call for an injunction of the contractors doing work, and bring them into a courtroom so that we can, talk about this in a legal arena and have, these issues brought before a judge and get orders for them to do better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carrie Gilliard Hernandez. I live in Jesuit Bend. And I use the tunnel probably about 4 or 5 times a week. I have 4 children. And we hold our breath when we drive through the tunnel. Like, that's gonna do something when it collapses and kills us all. And did I hear you clearly when you're saying you can't do anything to protect us?
State highway.
Y'all can't close it?
No,
It's not ours.
we can't close it for sure. It's not a local asset. It belongs to the state of Louisiana, and we have no authority to do that. We are trying to get this issue into the courtroom, as you said, to try to negotiate a better contract. If you read the contract, they got months and months before they have to maintain things. If they break, they can go a couple of months before they have to fix it. So, the contract is a bad contract, in my opinion. And, we've been saying this for a long time. However, DOTD thinks it's a good contract, and the governor thinks it's a good contract. Irregardless of the finances, which is a terrible deal for us, the contract itself, as it goes on, we learn more and more about it, about the bad things in that contract.
And I have a on the agenda to summons them, but they gave me their word Tuesday that they'll come to the next meeting and have discussions with the people finally.
That's great. You have to use your windshield wipers to drive through the tunnel, and I don't see how that isn't the most obvious factor in that the tunnel needs to be serviced and fixed, and y'all relinquished the rights to do that within a contract, so
We never, it's been the state's highway tunnel since 1953 or something like that,
your people are driving through it.
55.
I'd just like to, in the spirit of Congressman John Lewis, there comes a time when we need to get into some good trouble. And I'd like to invite the council, in the interest of safety, to join us to since we're not getting responses through the regular diplomacy, to go outside of the box and do something else. And by that I mean putting cones up and shutting the throughway under the Bell Chase and just creating a new route and say it's in the interest of safety. Let them come to us. And again, if they don't listen, then like Ms. Marva said, get some attention by joining us. Wouldn't that be a great thing that we work together, citizens in our council, to stand across and stand across the entryway to bring attention to the state and to the governor? Since transportation isn't responding to us, maybe the governor could get involved. I mean, this is a project that he brought to us in 2016 as a good thing for the parish. I think he would be interested, and certainly it would send a strong message if the people of the parish and our elected officials would stand with us, and let's get in some good trouble.
Thank you.
I have to ask Ms. Newberry a question. You're the council person for the Oakville area, right? I have called you 3 times with problems that we are having in that area. Please get back in touch with me.
Okay, I'll check with my assistant, but,
You didn't get the messages?
no, ma'am. So, call my office tomorrow, and I'll reply back to you.
Will do.
I would just like to say one more thing, that if there's a wreck in the tunnel, you close the tunnel because it's unsafe. So you can.
Thank you.
Chris Schultz, 411 Monclaw, Belchase. Is this going to be somebody that actually knows what's going on, or is this going to be Ms. Dupree at the meeting?
No, not, she might be here, but they told me I don't remember the man's name.
Yeah, representatives of plenary will be here. I think they're more or less just making a statement. I don't know if they're going to open it.
They got,
I mean, are they going to answer? I know they're not going to answer questions about.
Well, they're going to have community town meetings, so they're just kind of going to, not sure, but they're going to let y'all know.
We had those with the DOTD before the bridge, and they never answered questions before that. I know it's not y'all. It's plenary. I'm not blaming y'all. That's why I'm asking.
I told them,
Actually going to be here?
I told them that maybe the council people might have questions, and if somebody came from the audience, they'd have to ask us
We
the
did ask them to
question.
reach out to DOTD also.
Yeah, because the main thing is, I understand the lawsuit is going to be deferred until the next council meeting in Belchase, but bridge broke again yesterday. People want to know, is this going to be a recurring theme, and are we going to get responses? I know that weekend of Hogs calls, I know I'm not trying to tie the two together, but that weekend, it broke and caused major traffic jam Tuesday it broke, whatever day. Yesterday it broke, and people want to know, it's breaking more often. And it's like, are we going to have somebody to call right away when it breaks? And that's why can we get somebody at the council meeting, if y'all can call before and say, hey, these are the questions you're going to be asked. That way we can get maybe some.
If you send me your questions and I'll send it to them, I told them we could get questions together.
Okay, I will.
And also, the Harvey, from what I understand, the Harvey Canal is, the
Harvey
locks are
locks
closed.
are
So we have
closed,
extra
so
traffic, so
everybody's,
bridge is going up more often, and you know how the bridge is.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's causing major traffic jams, and People just want to know, hey, is this going to be an ongoing thing over the next 3 years? Because they have, I mean, Mike showed y'all volume 2 last month about they had 3 to 6 months depending on the fix. Is this going to be?
It's been going on since 70 when they built it.
Exactly. People want to know, hey, are we going to get a response? I know Hawksford Calls, it took hours for them to get out there to fix it. Are they going to be more responsive and get somebody out there a lot quicker? And I think that's some of the questions people want to know. So I'll get you my list of questions to you.
Thank you. Can we go to 9I?
Item 9I, an ordinance to amend the 2021 Library Services Fund operating expenditure budget, Libraries General Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
Mr. Alborough, you offer?
Offer is read.
Mr. Alborough offers, I'll second.
This is for some emergency repairs to the sewer at the library, and for $15,000 coming from the undesignated library fund, and I ask for your support.
Any questions from the council? Administration? Mr. Roussel? Audience, machines open. It passes 8-0. 15,000, he said.
Where would you like to go to next?
Right, the first 7A1.
7A1's deferred. I guess go to the permits.
Seven A2, Plaquemines Dirt and Clay LLC, application number 2021-335, dated April 16, 2021, continuation of existing borrow pit operation 22222, Highway 23, Port Sulphur. Councilmember LaFrance.
Mr. LaFrance?
I'll offer for discussion.
Mr.
Want to allow the representative for the applicant to come up and speak.
Mr. LaFrance offers for discussion only, I'll second. Name and address for the record.
George Pivach, 8311 Highway 23. I'm here to discuss the permit of Plaquemines Dirt and Clay, which was originally filed back in April of this year and has been deferred multiple times. I want to plead a little bit of, not sure what I'm going to say, because I'm not sure what the problem is. I've had one conversation with Mr. Garrett regarding this particular permit. I've given him some additional information as it relates to the application and permit for the borrow pit for Plaquemines Dirt and Clay, and that's about it. So I'm kind of like in the dark as to why it continues to be deferred, what the particular problems may be, why it hasn't come before this council for a vote. I've heard rumors about certain issues with it. It's a permit for a borrow pit operation on an area that has been in operation since the 1980s. This particular government has purchased material on multiple occasions since the 1980s for levee projects, road projects, and various public projects. My client has been operating bought the property from Citrus Lands, which originally had the borrow pit. It's a 570-acre tract of land. It's located approximately a mile off of Highway 23. You can't even see it. It's 570 acres, and as I've indicated to you before, it's been used as a borrow pit since the 80s. It is a borrow pit that its use is a grandfathered use, meaning this particular area was used as a borrow pit prior to any ordinances that were enacted by the Plaquemines Parish Council. The first ordinance was enacted by the Plaquemines Parish Council in, I believe, 1993. This particular pit was in existence at that time and has been operated continuously since the 80s. I've said that more than once because I want to make the point that this is a grandfathered pit. This particular borrow pit is not similar to other borrow pits that are in operation right now. There are essentially 3 borrow pit operators in the parish that have been providing materials for levees that we need so badly in Plaquemines Parish to protect the area from Captain Larry south down to St. Jude. But it doesn't only protect that particular area, it protects the town of Ironton, It protects all the people who live in that area. But additionally, and I'll put a different hat on right now, I represent the Venice Port Complex. Levees protect Highway 23. And we need protection for Highway 23 after a tropical event, that Highway 23 is not inundated for a number of days. For your information, after Hurricane Gustav, I started getting phone calls from various oil companies who wanted to move to Venice because Fouchon had been hit. They were looking to come to Venice. They were looking to set up. They were looking to operate deep water projects out of Venice, which had never been done before. The water stayed on Highway 23 for 17 days. And after the third or fourth day, I stopped getting phone calls. So it's important, and I bring that to this council's point, to this council's attention, I should say, that it's important that we have levees constructed to protect the people of Plaquemines Parish. Now, for some reason, certain people have an idea that borrow pit owners are bad people. You know, I guess it's kind of like a service. It's like a necessary evil. Well, maybe it is in Plaquemines Parish. It's a necessary service that a person or company that invests a lot of money, it takes about $500,000 or more to be able to develop a borrow pit, to get core certification, to be able to dig the material, to provide it for a levee. So it's important that we have borrow pits and availability of material in the event of not only constructing levees, but also to repair levees. And I want to give you some history as it relates to that, and I may be a little redundant at times, because it's a lot of information that I'm not sure this council knows about, because I haven't been able to talk to your attorney about what the issues are, and it gets a little frustrating. Now, in addition to the services the borrow pit people operate, there are three. You just got one permit renewed the other day. You've got another permit that was renewed last year, and you got Plaquemines Dirt and Clay permit that's coming up for renewal right now. You eliminate a borrow pit operator or operators, what happens? Price of material goes up. What happens? We get less levees in Plaquemines Parish. If you recall, after Hurricane Katrina, there was discussions regarding what type of hurricane protection we would get. First, it was supposedly a 100-year protection. Well, you know, we got funding from the federal government, and for your information, our initial funding was $671 million. Thereafter, we received an additional funding of $45 million, and then our last funding of $50 million. So you've got $766 million used to construct levees from St. Jude down to La Recite at no cost share. The federal government is paying 100% of that particular construction of levees. We're now 16 years later, and we haven't had the levees constructed. And Highway 23 is not protected. And every time a tropical storm occurs, we got lucky last year. Every time a tropical storm occurs, the people in the south end of the parish have to wonder whether they'll be able to get back to their particular homes. How much of that $766 million is left? I don't know. I'm not going to ask any council member to see if they know, but I don't know. And the question is going to be, what are we going to get in levees right now? Well, right now, we're being talked about having a 35-year protection for a hurricane levee. I will admit, that's better than no levee at all. But it's not what we thought we were going to get originally. 100-year protection levees that we need to protect not only the area I've discussed, but also all of South Plaquemines. I give you that information because I'm feeling a little pain.
2 minutes. 2 more minutes.
Thank you for the extra time, Mr. Chairman. I'm feeling a little pain as it relates to what's the delay as far as this particular permit is concerned. I understand that there's an issue relating that this permit may have expired. Okay, the original permit was issued in 2013. From a purely technical perspective, the permit expired last September. Unbeknownst to my client, unbeknownst to the Plaquemines Parish government, everybody thought the permit was going to expire September 2021. My client applied for the permit in April of this particular year and is now continuing to wait for the permit. If the permit had expired, it's in good faith on everybody's part. There's nothing sinister. We don't have a DJ that made a lot of noise. We're not throwing trash along the highway. We're not causing any problems to anybody. We paid our $10,000 application fee in April of this year. We paid the application fee for last year for 2020. The parish took our fee cost under the impression and understanding, as was ours, that we had an existing permit to September 21. So if our permit expired, it's moot. We're before you again with a brand-new permit to get the permit approved, to be able to operate, to be able to provide material for levee jobs. We presently have a levee job in place on the river for sourcing material for that particular levee. The cost of material in Plaquemines Parish, members of the council, is the cheapest material cost in southeast Louisiana as a result of the services and material that have been provided by the various borrow pits in Plaquemines Parish. We need to complete our levees, and the best way to do that is with inexpensive borrow materials that the various pit owners provide for this particular parish. Our particular permit also, I know I'm running short on time, Mr.
Time's
Chair.
up.
Time's up. Could I indulge the council for some additional time?
Maybe 1 minute.
Maybe 1 minute?
Yep.
In 2013, a variance was entered into by and between the Plaquemines Parish government, the council particularly, and my client. That variance was a variance based upon the fact that our pit was a prior pit that was grandfathered in. That variance is a variance specific to our particular borrow pit. It is not a permit-specific variance. It was a variance where the council approved this particular variance and issued it as it relates to all borrow pit operations on the particular pit that my client has. So when we made our application for renewal, we attached the variance, and we asked that this council respectfully consider our application and approve our application with the variance as proposed and agreed to by the prior administration and the prior council, so we can move forward with continuing providing inexpensive material for levees to protect Plaquemines Parish.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from the council? Administration? Audience? Mr. LaFrance?
No, I don't have no question for him.
Mr. Garrett, do you have any questions?
Tracy Riley, 13482 Highway 23. I just want to come up and say that, and I don't know the attorney or his client, but is as a concerned resident that these burrow pits are being allowed to be dug, excavated in our parish, and what are we doing to backfill them, these pits? And I can respect the uses for levees and things of that nature, but I also know that many of these owners are taking the earth outside of the parish. And I just, you take something away and not put at least a suitable replacement in its place, then we're left with just open space. And, I'm concerned for the environment and, the safety issues that, that will result from, leaving these holes in the parish. Just want to put that on the official record. Thank you.
Thank you. You gonna defer? Defer.
I'd like to address it, maybe ask some questions equally of the council. As you know, you formed a Plaquemines Parish Borough Pit Committee, of which you put me on, and another member, citizen. We have yet to have a meeting in regards to issuing or discussing this permit or any other permit. I've talked to a couple of other members of the committee. There's some discussion that at the last meeting and on this agenda about a declaratory judgment coming up to clarify things. I guess I come from an old school. There should be enough room on the table that we all can sit down, either with the administration, the developers in this particular case, and find out what the differences are and resolve them. Difference in what gentleman said a minute ago, there's 4 borrow pits still existing according to what we was informed of on this committee. All of them have gotten permits at this point in time. This permit, I'm told, expired some time ago. And you heard him explain the time. I wasn't told that on this committee. The committee wasn't told that at that time. I've yet to hear a problem with the permit. And in fact, we, at that committee, recommended to you all to approve the permit to the north, where it was, Woodland North, and it was approved. One of the things that we tried to do and understand at that permit in that committee was the differences between all the settlement agreements and the negotiations between the parish, previous attorneys, as to who was on first. Very difficult. Mr. Roussel did an admirable job. We had discussions from the parish's council about sales tax, whether it was applicable to the sales of these things. We found out it wasn't, according to what they said. Some taxes have been paid already. I'm now hearing that there's money owed. If there's money owed by any of these operators, the administration has a duty to collect those funds and sit down and work with them. We need the dirt pits in this parish for the projects that we have at hand. But it does not mean that we can give carte blanche to anybody and let them not pay what they do. But not to discuss things with them. And the last thing I ever did was get into litigation. I've been there. I've been to court. I'm not afraid to go there. But yet, we're not at that point that I see. These people want to sit down. They had difficulty getting together with Danny. I think they've had some discussions recently. And I think y'all are admirable people. I mean, this is something you all need. And the parish doesn't make any money off of these pits, I can tell you. The little $10,000 fee or a road tax fee is insignificant to what's there and what goes on. True, without question, the developers that are doing these deals and landowners are making a ton of money. And as an entrepreneur, I'm happy everybody can make money. I wish everybody in the parish could make a lot of money.
Time's up, Mr. Val. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody has anything that needs to be voted on now? Everything else will be deferred. Acceptance of the minutes.
Offer.
Aldborough offers as second. Second by Ms. Newberry. Machine's open. Let the record show 7-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion by Aldborough, second by Black. Machine's open. Let the record show it passes and meeting's adjourned at 6:57.